So that was a charm after all? Everyone at the scene was frozen in place as they stared at the red snake that Xavier vomited. One by one, their faces showed looks of disbelief. No one could have ever imagined that the esteemed heir of the Horst family, who had a bright and promising future ahead of him, had stooped this low just to court someone. Xavier, I never thought you'd be like this. Claudia yelled angrily in shock. Who knew that she'd be the one who would be deceived by trusting him too much in the end? She almost became an accomplice in his schemes too. Xavier was at a loss for words as his face turned pale. The truth was already laid bare for all to see, so even if he still insisted on denying it, his attempts would be absolutely futile. It's a good thing Dustin has a good eye to see through your evil schemes. Otherwise, Sheila would have fallen right into your trap. Ruth spat, her expression full of contempt. She hated despicable and shameless men like him the most, the type who was incapable of landing a girl for himself, and yet insisted on using unorthodox methods to do so. Absolutely disgusting. Sheila said nothing to all of this and merely looked at Xavier with disgust and a heightened sense of awareness. Yeah, so what if I gave her the charm? The only reason I did that was because I liked Sheila so much. I assure you that I'm the only person who's the best match for Sheila in the entirety of South City, so much so that Uncle Caden already treats me like his son-in-law. I only did this to expedite the marriage between both of our families, so what's so wrong with that? Xavier roared, clearly irritated, you're such a hypocrite. It still doesn't change the fact that had to stoop so low to get what you want. You're disgusting. Ruth spat on the ground. What do you know? What I have is true love for Sheila, a love that can't be compared with anyone else. Xavier retorted angrily. True love? If it really was true love as you proclaimed, why'd you have to kidnap Miss Murray in the first place? Dustin snorted. What the fuck are you talking about, kid? Xavier scowled. Miss Murray had been attacked twice, and your timing was right on the dot, which meant that someone secretly tipped you off. And as for the serpent love charm and the spider venom you put inside the 4 scoundrels' bodies, they both came from the same person. So, I've concluded that you have close ties to the 4 scoundrels, Dustin explained as a matter of factly. What a load of bullshit. Xavier yelled in response. If you really did nothing wrong as you claimed, then would there still be any need to kill the man off just now? Dustin threw the question back. I was just worried about Sheila's safety, which is why I struck him with my full power. Xavier explained stubbornly. Is that so? We still have a survivor here, so what say we call them up to ask them their side of the story? Dustin said before picking up a badly injured Wade with one hand. It was a good thing Wade was still semi-alive and not completely out of the picture yet. That's enough. Everything ends here, right now. Claudia shouted all of a sudden. Didn't you want me to state my case just now? Why the change of mind now? Dustin snickered. You'd better quit it now if you know what's good for you, Dustin. Tearing each other apart like this won't benefit anyone. Besides, this matter should be kept between the 3 of us and our families. We'll come up with the best way to deal with this so we certainly don't need any outsiders butting into our business now. Claudia roared at Dustin. The Murray family, Doyle family, and Horst family had always been longtime friends. The 3 families were basically married to one another as their interests were intertwined. If one of them went down, then the rest would go down together too. Thus, if the scandal got out today, then it wouldn't just be the Horst family's reputation that would be damaged, but the Murray family and the Doyle family too. Therefore, even if it were at Sheila's awkward expense right now, they had to cease all questioning. Immediately. Wait, this guy's rotten to the core, and yet you still insist on helping him? Have you ever considered Sheila's feelings? Ruth yelled back in frustration. Shut up, you don't have the right to butt into our business. Claudia spat in disgust. Why you dash? Just as Ruth was about to explode in fury again, Dustin stopped her by putting his hand in front of her. Just let it go already. She's right, it's their own steaming heap of shit to take care of. It has nothing to do with us. But what about Sheila? Ruth frowned. The two of them had a good thing going, so she did not want her best friend to suffer like this. I'll be fine, Ruth. I've decided to leave this matter in the hands of my father, Sheila said as she forced out a smile.